Hello, grade 1. Today we are going to continue with the folk tales, and today's turn of a special type of folk tale, like the name are tall tales. A tall tale is a funny, exaggerated story of a larger-than-life characters who sometimes tries to solve a problem. The exaggerations are unbelievable, and they are told as if they were true and meant to be humorous. Some examples of tall tales are the tale of Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, or the story of Pecos Bill. And today I'm gonna read to you the story of Pecos Bill. Pecos Bill. Pecos Bill was known as the toughest, roughest cowboy in Texas history. When he was just a baby, his ma and his pa were heading west in a covered wagon with his 15 brothers and sisters, and poor Bill fell out of the wagon when they crossed the Pecos River, and his parents didn't even miss him, and there he sat, homeless. So that's why they call him Pecos Bill. Lucky for Bill, there was a coyote den nearby. He crawled in there and curled up with the pups. When Ma Coyote came home, she thought that it was a mistake, but Bill looked so much at home that she took him and raised him like one of her own. Pretty soon, young Bill was top dog in that coyote pack. He laid claim to the biggest bones and the best of everything else, and nobody gave him a fight. He could yell so loud it could curl the hair on a bear, and he just plain had to be the best at whatever he did. And once he was the boss of the coyotes, Big took on the rest of the local animals. He outloped the antelope, outjumped the jackrabbit, and even out-hissed the rattlesnake. They didn't come any tougher than young Bill, and nobody knew the Pecos land like he did. One scorching hot day, Big climbed up to his favorite lookout and saw a horse, a colt, in a big trouble. The Belches were around, and they have 50 of them dive bombing the poor little horse. Bill's fighting spirit was roused up, and he shined down that rock in a minute flat. Biff! Bam! Bill punched his way into the cloud of belches, and the black feathers started flying all over the place. A minute later, those mean old birds looked like a bunch of plucked chickens. Bill had them on the run, and the lost colt was mighty happy to see him. When the feathers settled, young Bill and the horse laughed right out loud and took off across the desert at a run. Widowmaker, Bill called the colt, and he was every bit as fearless as Bill himself, and the two of them stuck together from that day on. As Bill got bigger, he set out to become the best cowboy in the West. He picked up a rattlesnake and made a lasso of him, and then he and Widowmaker would practice roping, running, and riding bareback the livelong day. When Bill got older, he sometimes rode through town at a gallop, yelling "Yahoo!" and twirling his lasso just for fun. Folks scattered every which way when they heard him coming. No one knew what Pecos Bill would get up to next, but there were plenty of stories about his doings. Like the time he roped a ragging cyclone out of nowhere and rode it like a bucking bronco. No matter how hard the cyclone tried to throw him, Bill stuck like a burr, and Widowmaker dug on his hoofs like a real cow pony and held on tight. Between them they tamed that cyclone to a little breeze. And then there was a time when the big drought hit Texas, and there was no rain for so long that people forgot what water looked like. Bill and Widowmaker lost their way one day, and the Belchers started looking hopeful. Man and beast, they were almost goners when they reached the sign that read "No water," any way you look at it. Bill got so mad that he forgot how low he'd been feeling, and he ripped that sign right out of the ground and used the post to dig the Rio Grande. "Yippee-yay!" he yelled, riding along the river twirling his 6 guns. But all of a sudden, down the river came a sight that stopped Bill right in his tracks. It was the famous cowgirl Slewfoot Sue, riding a giant catfish. Sue sure could handle a rope, because that big old catfish was jumping right through her lasso. Bill's heart started thumping like a cattle stampede. He was plumb fixed to the spot, and poor Widowmaker didn't know what to make of it at all. It looked like trouble to him, and he sure was right. Sue dismounted her catfish at the river's edge and took to arranging her hair as if she hardly noticed Bill at all. He was so tongue-tied, shy, that he opened his mouth to say hello, and nothing came out. But when he fumbled to tip his hat, Sue couldn't help noticing in her mirror. "How do?" said Slewfoot Sue. Well, Bill was set on getting that girl from the start, and before you knew it, they were engaged. Sue bought herself a fancy dress with a bustle on the back, and Bill picked a big bouquet, and the sheriff turned out to hear the bells. But one member of the wedding party was fit to be tied. That was Widowmaker. He was mighty jealous. He plain couldn't stand Sweet Sue, and she felt the same about him. So Sue started real trouble when she said to Bill, "I want to get married riding your horse." It took 4 strong men to hold down Widowmaker when Sue mounted up for the wedding. That horse was sitting inside, but Sue paid him no mind. She was out to prove she could tame both Pecos Bill and his horse. The whole town turned out to see what would happen. Right then, Widowmaker tore loose of the cowpokes holding the ropes and leaped for the sky. He bucked, he pawed, he pranced, he danced, but Sue stuck like glue until her bustle started to bounce. That steel and wire contraption worked just like a spring to send that gal higher and higher. Sue was still gaining altitude on every bounce when her reins snapped and she took off like a rocket. Far over the heads of the crowd she flew, and she kept on flying till she was a little speck in the sky. All of a sudden Sue dropped down to earth, but the troublesome bustle made her bounce back up again. Folks' jaws were dropping, but Bill stepped up with his trusty rope ready to fetch her down. And he'd never been known to miss. The crowd breathed a sigh as Bill made his loop with careless ease. Then he whirled it and twirled it and let it fly, but he never saw his horse hoof come down on the rope and spoil his throw. Old Widowmaker just stared at the sky, real innocent-like. The rope fell short, and Sue kept on going. On each bounce she flew a bit higher. Poor Sue flew all the way to the moon, and there she stayed to this very day. Pecos Bill was so busted up that he almost went back to the coyote pack, but he never knew that his horse had come between him and his one true love. Sometimes he still rides up to his favorite lookout to stare at the moon and sing a lonesome cowboy song, and if you listen real carefully, you can hear the coyotes howling right along with him. I hope that you liked the story, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye bye!